What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update on Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's happening with the news involving the markets, which you should be watching for as time progresses. Let me just mention I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, for the markets, we just got the GDP numbers that came out. The GDP growth rate was at 1.3%, aligned with expectations, a little bit on the lower side of things, whereas corporate profits were a little bit below expectations as well. The GDP price index was also at 3.1%, and this is very close to expectations, with initial jobless claims also very close to that as well. As a result of this data, the market did dip a bit, but now we're trying to see some buyers defend, and we'll see how the market ends up holding up as time goes on. When it comes to other pieces of data, I just wanted to mention that for today, in the morning, we have Kohl's earnings, not to mention Foot Locker, Best Buy, and a few others. And after the market closes, we have Costco and Dell. For Kohl's, the share price has dropped 20% after a massive earnings miss. Their loss per share is 24 cents versus a profit of 4 cents expected. That's a very, very big difference. And on top of this, revenue is only $3.18 billion. That's below expectations of $3.34 billion. That's a big miss for Kohl's, very sadly. And that's just not a very, very good sign for them. So with that happening, there's been a lot of talk about Kohl's laying off a lot of their businesses, and that is not very good. They also lowered their 2024 guidance and now expects the full year net sales to decline between 2 and 4%. Not the best news for them. And they have to do a lot more work in their area for their businesses, according to reports. Not the best of news as there's more and more underperformance. On top of all of this, Best Buy, they did relatively well when it comes to earnings. They beat on expectations, and they did say that there was a pullback in some purchases, but overall, not the worst. Right over here, you guys can see its full year guidance. It expects revenue in the range of $41.3 billion to $42.6 billion for the full year. It's a slight drop, but it's still in line with expectations. So not the worst overall. On top of all of this, we also have an EPS of $1.20. Also, revenue at $8.85 billion, a little bit below expectations. So mixed earnings overall, but it's decent guidance despite the sluggish sales, but overall not as bad. Now, as far as Tesla goes, there's some news coming out right here. Tesla is once again making an effort to roll out its advanced FSD driving in China. That's a great piece of news. Tesla's preparing to register its FSD software with authorities in China with the run-up for its planned rollout of the very, very advanced features this year. 3 people with knowledge of the matter have said that the US EV maker is also considering selling software as a monthly subscription to users in China, which is very, very awesome. There's also a successful software registration with China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. That's going to pave the way for FSD. With them getting access to pivotal pieces of data, that's going to be very useful. And currently, you guys can see that access to FSD may cost as much as $8,800. That's going to be the fee. That's going to be very, very useful. That's the monthly equivalent of about $98 in the future. Not too horrible overall. So overall, that's something else that's worth noting. FSD sales in China would open a new source of revenue as well. That's going to be great news for Tesla, and I can't wait to see what else the future holds. This has been a very, very optimistic headline, at least coming out for Tesla. Can't wait to see how things end up developing from here. Also, with all these struggles in the EV sector, there was some good news that came out because a Bloomberg article did note that it believes that the EV market will grow another 20% this year, and that's despite the fact that it's not as much growth as what we've seen during last year. But with the growth that's coming, there could be an improvement to Tesla sales later on for the year, according to different analysts. So that is actually a little bit more optimistic looking. So we'll see how things go for them, despite the fact that there were declining sales for GM and Tesla in the EV sector. Overall, there could be improvement later on for the year. Tesla's also sold another defect case of voting jury for the second time of the year. That's a good piece of news for them. But anyways, I want to now just focus on the share price. What do I see moving forward? Looking at Tesla, we are attempting to kind of rebound right here. I'll be looking at this resistance right here around this 178 to 180 area. We have support currently at 176, which is where our 200 EMA happens to be on the 4-hour time frame. And if we lose that, look at 174 to 173 as a range right here. If we lose that, we turn bearish. So if we lose 173, look for a decline all the way down towards 168. If we break past 180, we could turn more bullish. I'm going to be looking for 182 as the next level. And as long as we close above that or hold above 180, there's going to be more upside potential. What do I see for the share price? As right now, we're kind of range bound. I'll be watching this 180 area as resistance. It could try to push a little bit higher towards 180, but watch and see if Tesla could break this or not. If we do break this, look for 182. If we don't, we're going to come just short. But I see a little bit of an upside potential move right here. Might try to push towards 180. So look for a little push in Tesla. We'll see how it reacts to resistance. The Chinese news that came out is good news, and one can even argue that we could be forming kind of like a cup and handle right over here, which gives Tesla potential to push higher. Technicals do favor that it wants to push higher, but first we have to see Tesla break out of this range because last few weeks it's been range bound price action for Tesla, so we just have to give this some time. For Spy is in a very interesting place. We're just barely at 524 right now. We actually dipped all the way down to 520, the 523s before we saw some buyers attempt to defend it. So we will see if this continues to fall. We basically have filled the gap at 523. Now the only question is where will Spy base? Now we're at support right now. Will we hold 523? If we hold this, look for a rebound back up to about 526. If we don't hold 523, we could be dipping down to 521 and then get the rebound. That's what I kind of anticipate as the biggest possibility. So watch and see, do we hold 523? If not, we're going to dip down to 521 and see if we get a bounce or not. That's going to be key for the way SPY ends up moving. For a couple more tickers like Bitcoin's trying to bounce right now. It actually came all the way down to 67,000. Now it's testing 68,167 as resistance. If we break this, we'll be looking for a push all the way up to about 68,800. If we reject here, we're going to be dipping back down towards 67,500. So we'll see if we get this rebound or not. For the QQQ, just like SPY, this did actually dip a bit. We came all the way down to the 453 area, very close to filling our gap. We will see what this holds. If we hold 453, we're going to rebound all the way up to about 456 and eventually 458. And if we lose 453, we're going to be dipping down to 452.5. So there could be a little dip coming, but we'll see where we end up basing on the QQQ. Will it be 452.5 to 453 where we find support, or will we dip even lower? To me, it does look like it could reject and dip a little bit, but watch and see if we hold support for a bounce. We're at critical support right here, close to 452. The last time we hit this, we did bounce. If you look at Nvidia has resistance at 1150. We will see if Nvidia breaks this or not. It is still shuffling within this range. So we have 1150 as resistance, support at 1140. And if we lose that, we have 1125 as our next level. Overall, we're just kind of shuffling between supply and demand. So we're still kind of stuck. So we'll give this some time. Just for a few more, we also have the IWM Russell 2000 trying to rebound after hitting 201. Look at resistance all the way up here at 204.5. And look at support at 202, then 200. Overall, we're still kind of stuck. We have this gap to fill over here. So we will see if it rebounds from here or not. But it does have potential to try to push a little higher. So give it some time. For Amzon's trading sideways right now. Watch 180 as support, 183 as resistance. We're just kind of trading sideways within this range. So we'll give it some time. Meta is also just barely holding up. We do have a head and shoulders like structure, but we'll see if Meta holds 472 or not. If we lose 472, we could be dipping all the way down to 468. If we hold this, we could rebound to 478. Otherwise, there's a risk of it dipping a bit lower. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for the video. I might have to end it from here because I'm very late today. I was having a big Wi-Fi problem again, but everything's okay now. So hopefully I upload this as fast as possible. Thank you for listening, guys. Tesla's still range bound. We'll see which way we end up going, and we'll be very, very patient nonetheless. I do think that there's some more upside potential, but watch that 180 resistance. That's going to be key for how Tesla moves. We love to reject off 180 and hold above 173. We will see if it remains range bound or not. So give it some time and see how well we hold up, if we can try to break 180 or not. All right. Thank you for listening. We had good news about Chinese FSD, and we'll see how things go. I'll see you guys in a few hours, guys, and peace out.